What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm your boy FDF, and this is Facts Don't Fold. Today we're going to dive deeper into dating, of course, but not just dating, but the psychology around it. This channel that I'm going to be reacting to is called Psych Depth, and it's pretty solid content. And I'll link it below for you guys so you can watch it. But on this episode, we're going to break down the hidden psychology of attraction, exposing why women, get addicted to men who really don't treat them the best that you would think a man would, and that give them less attention. And this is kind of key, guys, if you want a woman to, if you want to try to understand, we're not really manipulating, but if you want a woman to understand you and you understand the woman, this is kind of what you have to know behind the scenes. So let's pay attention, let's get into it. And don't forget to hit that button, subscribe to this channel so you can get more content. All right, guys, let's get into it.
You're dating an absolutely gorgeous woman. She's smart, funny, and every guy in the room turns to look at her when she walks by. You're treating her like the queen she is, buying her flowers, taking her on expensive dates, texting her good morning every single day. You're being the perfect gentleman your mother raised you to be. But here's what's happening behind the scenes. She's slowly losing interest in you, and you have no idea why. What I'm about to tell you will completely shatter everything you think you know about women and relationships.
I sped it up 1.25 because he talks very slow, and I'm not trying to make this forever, But pretty much he's saying, we all grew up, us as guys, we all grew up to be the gentleman, that we all used to be at least, right? Hopefully we still are, but in today's society, it's very hard. They're pushing that away, and we know who to blame. Feminist.
Let's go. Comfortable truth that 97% of men refuse to accept is this. For a woman to genuinely love you, desire you, and stay loyal to you, she must never feel completely secure in your affection. She must always feel like she's reaching upward to deserve your attention. Now, before you close this video, thinking I'm some kind of manipulative pickup artist, let me be crystal clear about what I mean.
Yeah, it's going to sound very misogynist, and a lot of females or feminists are going to eat this up and just blame the finger and stuff like that. But you really got to pay attention. That's why my channel is more of just the mature audience and the more mature females, because they're really immature nowadays. Especially those liberals. But anyway,
I'm not talking about being cruel or abusive.
In this video, I only watched it once about 3 weeks ago, but I kind of forgot everything, and we're going to watch it together. Let's just watch.
I'm talking about understanding the psychological mechanisms that drive female attraction at the deepest level. And if you stick with me for the next 15 minutes, I'm going to reveal the exact psychology behind why women lose interest in men who treat them well. And more importantly, how you can use this knowledge to create the kind of deep, lasting attraction that most men only dream of.
Yo, this is gold.
One of the most important videos you'll ever watch about women's psychology. So pay attention. Let's start with the first golden rule. Women are biologically programmed to seek men with higher survival value than themselves.
What? What was that? All right, first golden rule, guys. First golden rule.
First golden rule. Women are biologically programmed to seek men with higher survival value.
All right, biologically programmed. So ever since back in the day, caveman times, right? Where it's literally just men and women. Women chose the best person there to mate with, because when you mate with them, you survive with them. And survival was key back in the day. It was very hard. A lot of people died all the time through either diseases or just natural, disasters, whatever the case was, right? But that's biologically in women even now today. And we're forgetting about it, or we're just trying to erase it nowadays. I don't know, but you can't get that out of our DNA. You can't. No matter what you do, no matter how many hormones you take or whatever surgeries you do, that will be in your body.
Than themselves. This isn't something they consciously decide. It's hardwired into their DNA after millions of years of evolution.
Yeah.
Back in our ancestral environment, women who chose men with superior resources, strength and social status were more likely to survive and raise healthy offspring. The women who fell for the nice guy who brought her flowers every day, their genetic line died out because that nice guy couldn't protect her from the neighboring tribe or provide during harsh winters. This biological programming is called hypergamy. And
for some reason, the guys who were not high value, the guys who were just the regular guys that are just trying to help out in the tribe and stuff like that, they really weren't the best hunters and stuff like that. They would be super nice to the women that would be still at that tribe, just hanging out, taking care of the kids while the hunters are really out and not being in the tribe. The men that would stay back, they'll be so nice to the women. Maybe gave them things of some sort, but those women did not see them like, oh, those hunters out there hunting and you're giving me a lot of attention. Like, that's awesome. Let me just get with you. No, they're going to stick with the hunters. They know those hunters are high value. That's kind of like what's happening now, guys. All right, let's pay more attention.
And it's still active in every woman's subconscious mind today.
Yep.
Even though we live in modern times with safety nets and grocery stores,
Yep.
her brain is still operating on ancient software.
Mm-hmm.
When a woman perceives that a man...
And until women understand that, and you guys understand that as well, we're going to keep living this back and forth. Women can do this and do the same thing as men can do and all this, and this whole toxic dating, all right? This is going to continue until we really realize the biological, I guess, I mean, what do you even call it? It's just straight up just biology, you know? It's human instincts. It's just what makes us, and we keep forgetting that. It's crazy.
Man's value is lower than or equal to her own. Her attraction circuitry literally shuts down. For hundreds of thousands of years, women had to be extremely selective about their mating choices because pregnancy made them vulnerable for 9 months, and raising children required massive resources. A woman who chose poorly could literally die, along with her offspring. This created an intense selection pressure for women to be attracted only to men who demonstrated superior genetics and resources. These ancient programs are still running in the background of every interaction you have with women. When you act needy, desperate, or overly accommodating, you're sending signals that would have indicated weakness and poor survival prospects to our ancestors. Her subconscious receives these signals and responds by reducing attraction.
Yeah, so her subconscious, without her thinking, she sees that as weakness for some weird reason, right? But we all grew up to just be nice to women and give them flowers and just appreciate them and give them so much attention. That so much attention, that's what fucked us up. We didn't understand that so much attention, this was the result, and we didn't know that. So that's why, like, in my personal dating life, like, I fucked up a lot like that. I lost a lot of girls like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but hey, I mean, we're young doing this, so losing girls is not a big deal. It's just super young. Like, you're in your early teens or whatever the case, right? Even younger than that, basic stuff. Be nice to girls, you know?
This brings us to the concept of sexual market value, or SMV. Think of dating like a marketplace where everyone has a certain...
SMV, sexual market value. We're all doing it right now. We're all part of it, whether we like it or not. All right. Remember, women are hypergamous people, so they're looking for the top notch. Us men, we're just looking for like the best people that will stay with us long term and care for us. And they're looking just for these women are just looking for the top notch. That's it, the top of the food chain, and then we'll worry about personality after. Just give me what's the top, and then I'll filter out the rest. That's kind of what they're doing. They're just waiting for the winner at the end. You know,
certain value based on their attractiveness, resources, personality, and social status. The cruel reality is that women are only genuinely attracted to men whose SMV they perceive as higher than their own. Here's where most guys get it completely wrong. They think SMV is about your job, your car, your muscles, or your height. While these factors matter, they're not the primary drivers of
I was about to say that. Like, those factors matter, but that's not the main drive right there.
attraction. A woman's perception of your SMV is determined much more by how you carry yourself, how you interact with her, and most importantly, how much you seem to need her validation. Let me give you a real example. I once knew a guy who was a successful lawyer, drove a BMW, and was in great shape. He would wine and dine women at expensive restaurants, shower them with compliments, and make himself available whenever they called. Despite having all the external markers of high value.
Yes, a lot of attention you're giving to a woman. A lot of attention. The most attention you should ever give if you're in a monogamous relationship, getting to marriage, like you're almost there, and she's checking all your boxes. That's when you give her the most attention you could give her. But yet you still don't want to give her 100% of attention. You can't. Give her 99%. Don't give her that extra 1%. That makes such a difference. And we'll get into it more and stuff. If you don't understand it here, we'll get into more of my channel. I talk deep in that stuff.
Women would consistently lose interest in him after a few weeks.
Yeah.
Compare that to another guy I knew who was a bartender, lived in a studio apartment, but had an abundance mindset. He would take women to casual coffee shops, playfully tease them, and never seemed fazed if they didn't respond to his texts immediately.
That's the key. This bartender dude was not fazed that these girls either weren't replying back or he didn't reply fast enough, and he just didn't seem like he cared, right? So that's kind of like the mindset that you should have. Like, who cares if these girls don't talk to you ever again, right? This dude's a bartender. He sees a bunch of them. If you're not a bartender, it doesn't matter. If you see just a bunch of girls, like if you're texting stuff like that, if they don't text you back, you don't text them, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And they're going to remember that, those girls. If they text you back, if they don't text you back, after that, it doesnit matter, you know?
Women would become...
The fact is, just get used to that mindset. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're moving on. I'm moving on. It was a quick thing, or it didn't matter, whatever.
Obsessed with him, constantly trying to win his approval and attention. The difference? The second guy understood that perceived value is more powerful than actual value. He carried himself like a man with options, while the first guy's behavior screamed, "Please don't leave me." Women are constantly scanning for social cues about your value relative to other men.
Yeah, don't be like that please don't leave me type of guy. Women hate that. Like, completely hate that. If you seem like you have all the time in the world and you're just all about hanging out with her, she's going to seem that as a weak thing, and she'll either talk bad about you behind your back. It could be very subtle, but she's still disrespecting you, like, low key, and you're not knowing about it, and that's what she's doing. So you got to wake up, you know? So even if she's not doing it in front of your face, she's definitely doing it behind your back. You know, you could be like, oh, FDF, how do you know? I fucking know. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, you know, I gotta open up like premiere content or something so you guys can know about a little bit more about me, but I'm not gonna do it here.
They're looking at how you handle rejection, how you respond to their tests, how you carry yourself in social situations. These behavioral cues matter more than your bank account or your biceps. Here's the second golden rule. The less certain a woman is about your interest level, the more mental energy she invests in thinking about you. This is basic psychology. We value what we're uncertain about and take for granted what we're sure of. When you immediately show your hand by being overly available, constantly texting, and making it obvious that you're completely smitten.
All right, so pretty much, really quickly, it's what he's talking about is called perceived scarcity. So if rare things seem more valuable, then, you know, he's rare, he's more valuable. Her brain assigns him like he's high value of some sort. So it's that mystery. It's not that he's mysterious. It's that I don't know much about him, but he's already telling me that he's high value without telling me. Like, that's hot. That's what she's saying. That's what's going on in her brain. All right? So remember that perceived scarcity. This dude is mysterious. I don't know anything about him. He has to be high value. He's telling me he's high value. I'm still interested in him. High value.
You remove all mystery and challenge from the equation. She no longer has to work for your attention because you're freely giving it away.
Yeah, those are the betas.
When you maintain some level of uncertainty about your feelings, something magical happens. Her mind starts racing with questions. Does he like me? Why didn't he text me back? What is he doing?
That's the mystery dude, okay? We got the beta male and then we got the mystery dude right now.
Right now, this mental occupation is the foundation of attraction. Let me paint you a picture of how this works in practice. You meet a woman at a social event, have a great conversation, and exchange numbers. The typical guy would text her the next day saying something like, "Hey, I had such an amazing time talking to you last night. You're incredible. When can I see you again?" The guy who understands interest concealment waits 3 days, then sends a simple text. Coffee Tuesday at 3. No excessive enthusiasm, no validation, just a clear invitation that demonstrates he's interested but not desperate. Here's the psychological principle at work.
All right, so did you hear that? So pretty much the one beta male is like, I had such a great time with you. When can I see you again? You don't want to say when can I see you again. You're probably thinking like, FDF, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, how come I can't ask that? No, it's not that you can't ask that. It's that you're showing like you really want to see her right away. Even though deep down you want to see her again, sure. But why are you telling her that just like that? You're already presenting that to her? You want to do that to yourself? Really? You're not understanding that. So the other guy is kind of like, he waited, 1, 2, 3 days? I mean, if she's not going to talk to you after 3 days, you don't want her anyway. She's trash. So he waited 3 days and then he just wrote coffee date Tuesday. Or 8, I forget what he wrote. It was just like, just direct, straight up, coffee Tuesday, 8 p.m. Whatever the hell he said. It's direct. She sees that text and she's like, damn, you know, it's been 3 days and he just tells me, you know, where to meet up. Okay, I'm still interested. Still, I've been wondering what he's been doing for 3 days. I didn't want to text him because that's just how I play games because I'm a girl, right? And I'm pretending I have a phone here. And I'm just interested in what he's doing. And wow, okay, I'm going to text him now and just find out more information about this coffee. And the dude's probably not going to text that much. You get what I'm saying? Like, he's going to be like, do you want to go or not? And then she says, yeah. And then boom, you're there. And she's going to be turned on by the whole thing anyway. So it's all good.
Humans are naturally drawn to intermittent reinforcement. When we receive consistent, predictable reward.
All right. He said intermittent reinforcement. Okay. So that is, let's see, I wrote a little note here. That is, okay. So it's like a casino, right? It's like random rewards. They keep her hooked. So unpredictable attention creates the strongest obsession. All right. So the dude's unpredictable, right? He's giving her attention at odd times, weird times, just like that text, right? Coffee, see you there. 8, like just very direct, you know, very boss-like, and she likes it. So intermittent reinforcement, guys.
Rewards. We quickly adapt and lose interest. But when rewards are unpredictable, we become psychologically hooked. Your attention operates on the same principle. When you give it consistently and predictably, she adapts to it and loses interest. When you give it intermittently and unpredictably, she becomes psychologically hooked on getting more of it. Think of your attention and approval as a currency. Like any currency.
So you don't give her 100% attention, you give her 50% attention, let's just say. That's going to keep her wondering about you, keep her excited. Why are you going to give the whole movie right away? You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to play the movie out. You're already going to tell her like the spoiler alert and stuff like that. Like, if you think about it that way, imagine having a guy friend, right? If you're a girl, imagine having a guy friend and he's just telling you all the spoilers. Like, you don't want to hang out with him. You think he's creepy after a while. You think he's a nerd after a while. He's giving you all the spoilers about all movies and you want to see this movie and then you get mad at him and you don't want to talk to him. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just annoying. You look annoying doing that. So yeah, give her less attention. That's what he's talking about.
Its value is determined by scarcity. When you give your validation too freely, it becomes worthless. When you make it something that must be earned, it becomes precious.
Ooh.
Most men make the fatal mistake of
Right, perceive. I said it earlier, perceive a scarcity right here.
front-loading all their validation.
The rare things they see more valuable.
They
Like
compliment
the whole mysterious thing.
her constantly, agree with everything she says, and make it clear that she's the most amazing woman they've ever met. What they don't realize is that they just spent their entire emotional budget in the first week.
Check this out.
Women are incredibly skilled at reading your level of investment through your behavior. She doesn't need you to say, "I love you." She can see it in how quickly you respond to her texts, how you light up when she walks into the room, how you rearrange your schedule to accommodate her whims. Here's what you need to understand. Women want to feel special, but they want to earn that feeling. When you give it away for free, it loses all meaning.
All right, see, this is not what women are telling you. They want to earn that feeling. They're just not telling you that. They really aren't. What woman is really, that means women's pride, they have such high pride, right? So they're going to lower their pride to tell you that? No, I don't think so.
When she has to work for your approval, suddenly it becomes worth something. I know a guy who was dating a model, absolutely stunning woman who was used to men falling over themselves to please her.
All right.
Instead of showering her with compliments about her looks like every other guy, he would occasionally acknowledge her intelligence when she said something insightful, or praise her sense of humor when she made him.
Well, that's going to turn her on, right? So she's like a top 10, whatever model. Let's just call her, she's a 10, right? And every guy in the world or whatever is just telling her, you're beautiful, you're beautiful. This guy understands that, right? Like a high value guy, a smart guy will understand that. And he's not going to mention her looks a lot. Oh, you're beautiful. Oh, you're stunning, this and that. If she's wearing a dress in front of him and she's asking how the dress looks, be like, you look stunning in that dress. That's a perfect time. But to do it all the time, that's going to annoy her. So yeah.
Him laugh. The key was that his validation was conditional on her behavior, not just her existence. She had to earn his approval through her actions, which made it infinitely more valuable than the empty compliments she received from other men. One of the fastest ways to destroy attraction is to become predictable. When she knows exactly how you'll respond to everything she does, when she can
I've seen this firsthand so many times. It writes itself. It really is. You can't be too predictable to your girl. You can't. If you have like a weird routine, you know, like you wake up at 5 a.m, get to work, come home, watch TV for 2 hours, and then go to bed again, that's going to ruin your relationship. She's not going to feel excited anymore. Then she's going to start doing all these things. And that's why cheating happens, right? When you hear stories about a woman cheating, that's most likely another story of how it happened. That's one of them, right? That's probably another big one, right? Because it's like you forced her to cheat. That's kind of what they're gonna say at the end. They use that story. I didn't feel happy in my marriage, in my relationship. So, you know, I just met this guy. He was cool. It was friends, and it starts off as friends, and then it keeps getting into different because you keep doing the same damn routine. You can't be doing that. You gotta be slightly unpredictable. You know, if you're gonna have the same routine, it's like once in a blue, be like, yo, babe, what are you doing Saturday? Let's go 10 a.m. to something crazy, right? That's unpredictable. That's awesome. She's gonna be like, yeah, you know my schedule, right? That's awesome. You know, we've been doing nothing for so long, you know? So come on, guys.
predict your schedule down to the minute. When you become a known quantity, her interest will inevitably fade. This is why so many relationships start passionate and exciting, but gradually become boring and routine.
Right there.
The man, in his effort to be a good boyfriend, becomes utterly predictable.
Yeah.
He calls at the same time every day, takes her to the same types of places, and responds to her the same way every time. Predictability signals to her subconscious that she has completely figured you out, which means she no longer needs to invest mental energy in understanding you. And when she stops,
Yeah, she's gonna stop trying hard to get your attention. She's gonna stop trying to love you, more. It's really sad, man. It's almost like you don't want to blame them because they're doing it subconsciously. It's like it's almost hardwired. They don't like you because you just seem like a beta now. Just don't be a beta. I gotta get that T-shirt. Like, stop being beta. I gotta make my own T-shirt.
investing mental energy in you, she stops feeling attracted to you. This is why the bad boy stereotype is so powerful.
Oh my God.
It's not that
how many bad boy stories have we heard, guys? How many, right? How many effing times have we heard this whole bad boy stuff? Why girls keep going to the bad boys, right? Hopefully this guy will tell you. I think he's going to tell you, but it's just, think about it. Why the bad boys? We keep losing to these bad boys all the time, right, guys? Let's see.
Women are attracted to men who treat them poorly. They're attracted to men who are unpredictable, who keep them guessing.
How many times you heard that? Oh, he treated me, he's so toxic. He treated me like trash. But then you're like, yeah, but you dated him for like 4 years. It's like, what?
Don't follow the script of what a typical guy would do.
Yeah, so these bad boys are not following the typical script. They're not being the most romantic. They're not giving the most attention. It's almost like they know what they're doing. Or they don't, and then that's just, or they don't, and they have the best recipe. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know. I mean, it took me years, well into my late 20s, early 30s, to really understand what the hell is happening.
Here's something that will blow your mind. Women are constantly testing your interest level, not your competency. Most men think women are testing to see if they're man enough, or if they can handle her attitude. But that's not what's happening at all. She's testing.
No, you should never handle anybody's attitude. Why? As a man, you're going to handle a woman? Why are we handling women, right? It doesn't make any sense. It should just go with you smoothly, the whole relationship. So I don't know.
Testing to see how much you like her. Every time she acts a little cold.
And women do test. I don't care what anybody says. Women do test. And they do it knowingly too. Like, I don't care what anyone says. So
every time she mentions another guy, every time she seems unimpressed with something you did, she's gauging your reaction to see if you'll chase her validation. When you fail these tests by immediately trying to win her approval back, you're essentially telling her, I like you more than you like me. And once she knows that...
And I'll swear to this, and it's going to be controversial, but for a relationship to work long term, the woman has to like you more than you like her, guys. I'm sorry. It's at that point, it's biology. At that point, it might be even deeper than that. That's the only way it works. Long term, you see these long term people. If you do know any, it's like you almost feel like the woman just loves him just a little bit more. She looks at him like a certain way, like, like just deep in your eyes, and you see that, and you see it more in women towards a guy that they admire and they love so much. It's a beautiful thing, and those are the ones that are in healthy relationships. It's, and people will hate on that whole ideology. Oh, why does a woman have to love? Why can't the guy love? Because it ruins relationships when the guy loves more. Look, we're talking about it right now. When the guy loves more, he's going to give 100% attention to you and give you everything you need. And then you guys dump us. So you get what I'm saying? So come on, guys, let's think logical now. Let's get a little deep now.
The power dynamic shifts permanently in her favor. Let me break down some specific examples. The comparison test. She mentions how attractive another man is or talks about an ex-boyfriend. The failed response is to get jealous.
All right. I talked about this in one of my other channels about like the 5 signs that she's not interested in you. She talks about other people's boyfriends in front of you. You might be like, oh, that's just regular conversation. You're a beta. All right. So see you later. Go hate on my channel or like go to a different channel and watch those beta content. But she's disrespecting you, bro, low key. So what do you want? What do you want? You gonna get angry? Come on, man.
Or try to compete. The correct response is to be genuinely unbothered and maybe even agree with her. The availability test. She suggests plans and then cancels at the last minute. The failed response is to immediately try to reschedule or express disappointment. The correct response is to say, no problem, and make other plans. The attitude test. She gives you attitude or acts cold. The failed response is to ask what's wrong or try to cheer her up. The correct response is to mirror her energy and be equally cold until she corrects her behavior. These tests are...
All right, so if she's giving you tests, don't fall for the test. You You can't be like this weak dude asking her, hey, what's wrong? What's this? What's that? Oh, we can't hang out. Oh, is there anything I can do? I'll try to see you tomorrow, or I'll try to see you in like a few days. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you can't be that dude. So just, he's telling you just to get her energy, equal her energy back. If she's playing this little silly game, I'm not talking to you, don't talk to her back. It's that simple. And if you don't talk to her again, it was meant to be then. You don't want her anyway. You dodged a bullet, guys. It's that simple, guys. That simple.
Unconscious manipulations. They're unconscious behaviors driven by her need to assess your value.
See, unconscious. So she's not really doing it like, all right, I'm going to plot on this dude. They just do it unconsciously. That's why we really can't blame women, but that's why we have to be like one step ahead of them, because they don't even know that they're doing this. So if we're one step ahead of them, then we can probably fix something in the relationship and have a better relationship than what it is now in this modern times.
When you consistently pass these tests by remaining unbothered and maintaining your frame, you signal that you're not desperate for her approval.
That's the thing. Do not be desperate for her approval, guys. That's it. Keep that in mind. Don't be desperate. Oh, that's giving some needy ass energy. Nobody wants that. Disgusting. Don't do it.
When a woman perceives that a man's value is lower than her own, her body literally starts to reject him on a biological level.
He's pretty much saying in a nice way that she's not turning into a tsunami down there. That's what he's saying. So she's not going to be interested in you.
This isn't conscious. It's happening in her subconscious mind. Her brain starts sending signals that this man is not genetically superior enough to be worth reproducing with. This manifests as a loss of sexual desire, increased irritability around him, and a general feeling that something is off about the relationship. This is why so many women in relationships stop being intimate with their partners. It's not that they don't love them. It's that their biology is telling them not to reproduce with someone they perceive as weak.
Yeah, with someone they perceive as weak or inferior. So I've heard of relationships where, I'll have women talk to me and they'll tell me that they've been in relationships for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, and nothing's happening. No ring on the finger, not even engagement, right? At least that, and like the guy should at least promise something, right? Also that the woman didn't even want to have a kid with the dude. So I'm like, why'd you even be with him for 4 years? And she had no answer, but for me, that just tells me that she just wanted, like, her survival instincts kicked in right there, guys, what we spoke about earlier. The survival instincts kicked in. So without her telling me, I knew that she just wanted to be with him because he probably had a little bit of money or whatever the case. He helped her with the rent. They lived somewhere. So you get what I'm saying? So she stayed with him for that factor. So you hear it sometimes. You hear it all the time. Whatever, man. It's crazy.
Weak or inferior, her subconscious thinks that you became weak, that you can't stand up to her. Therefore, you can't stand up for her. Women are survival creatures. Mm-hmm. When she looks at you, you're now a bad bet for her survival.
Yep.
Understanding this can be painful, but it's also liberating.
She'll kick you out.
When you realize that her loss of interest isn't personal, it's biological.
Yep.
You can start to make the changes necessary to reactivate her attraction. Here's a fascinating psychological phenomenon. When a woman is uncertain about your interest level, she switches from covert to overt communication. Let me explain what this means. Normally, women communicate covertly, meaning they hint at what they want rather than stating it directly. She might say,
Okay, well, this has been going on for years, but women will indirectly tell you to do something, and us guys, we're more direct. Like, we tell our guy friends, like, yo, bro, do that. Hey, can you give me this? Hey, can you do this? Women won't do it that direct. They kind of what is it, like, be behind the bush, I guess, or whatever. So, I don't know. They just do that. It's been going on for literally generations. And that hasn't changed. And a lot of us guys, we don't understand, or we choose not to understand it because we don't work that way. And as long as women will understand that, I think that will help the relationship. I think us guys are starting to understand that, but women need to understand that first.
Cold instead of, can you give me your jacket? Or, I'm hungry instead of, let's go eat. Mm-hmm. But when she's worried about losing you, she switches to overt communication. She starts being more direct, more affectionate, more obvious about her feelings. She'll text you things like, I miss you so much, or I can't wait to see you tonight.
See, then when a girl really likes you, then she'll turn into that nice guy that we were supposed to be. So it's like it flips. They should be doing it, not us. That's the thing. That's the key right there. So once she likes you guys, she's going to turn into that nice guy. So remember that. It's that nice guy. So once she starts acting like that nice guy that we were all trained to be when we were young boys, that's when you know she likes you. And then that's when you can decide what to do with that relationship, whether to match her energy or leave her for whatever reason you want. It's up to you guys.
This shift happens because her hypergamous instincts are telling her that you might be higher value than she initially thought.
Hypergamy.
And she needs to make sure she doesn't lose you to another woman. When a woman really likes a guy, she will return texts on time, call you back, Always check in how your day is going and genuinely do things to make you feel like she likes you. She switches to overt communication because hypergamy can't stand to lose.
So if she likes you, it's called overt communication. She switches to being more direct. It's like that little thing in her brain says, I gotta be more like a nice guy right now, and boom.
One. Here's where most dating
She doesn't want to lose you.
advice gets it completely wrong. They tell you to hit the gym, make more money, dress better, and develop more skills. While these things can help, they're missing the fundamental point.
All right, so these are the like almost like the fake alpha male channels. They'll give you all these things, but then they'll miss one fundamental point. Let's see what happens.
You can be the most successful, attractive, well-dressed man in the world, but if you display low-value behaviors, she'll still lose interest. I've seen millionaires get dumped by women who work at coffee shops because they didn't understand the...
Yeah, so the story that he's talking about is like a coffee shop girl that's very attractive. She's got to be somewhere where it's like 20 years old, very young looking, but beautiful, young. And this millionaire or a super wealthy will go in there and they would obviously date because she would understand that this guy is a somebody, and they would date and it wouldn't even last a year because she would break up with him. And you're thinking, why would she break up with a millionaire? This dude was trash. He showed probably beta male symptoms, and she read that, and she's probably a hot, young, attractive girl. So she has her options. Maybe they're not all millionaires, but it doesn't matter if this guy was a millionaire. Like, she'll probably use him as much as she can until he starts being either needy, annoying, to the point that she's got to break up with him. So yeah, I've heard of that.
These psychological principles. Conversely, I've seen average guys with average jobs keep beautiful women completely obsessed with them because they understood how to maintain the proper psychological dynamic. External improvements might get you in the door, but psychological positioning is what keeps her interested long term.
That's more harder, but it's possible where you're a dude and you have like a decent job and you're pulling all these girls, because you got character and you got riz, as they say, right? You got swag, so all that stuff.
Self-improvement is not the answer. Passing the interest test is the answer. Whether you make $50,000 or $500,000 a year doesn't matter, because revealing interest reveals your sexual market value. Revealing your interest reveals what type of girl you're used to getting. This is probably the most counterintuitive part of female psychology. Women consistently choose men who treat them worse over men who treat them better. This isn't...
And see, and that's the thing. It's not you'll treat them worse. That worse part is just less attention, less this, less that. And it's not to be mean. It's not on purpose. It's just to really kind of like balance what's really happening, because we can't be direct with women. Like, we can't be like, hey guys, this is what you're doing, psychology wise, like, this is what you're doing. They'll be like, what are you talking about? No, I'm not. And it's just a whole different argument after that. So as long as we understand, we're gonna be fine.
Because they enjoy being mistreated. It's because poor treatment often signals higher value. When a man is willing to risk losing a woman by not prioritizing her every need, it suggests that he has other options.
I've seen so many relationships where the guy is saying yes, yes, yes all the time, and then behind his back, she literally will low-key disrespect him, say something bad about him, and she wouldn't tell him, like, oh, hey, this is what I told him, like, when you left or something, to the bathroom or whatever the case is. Like, she'll keep that a secret between her and whoever she told. So that's mild disrespect.
It's not constantly...
And it starts there, and then it just keeps going up, you know what I'm saying? Like, just... horrible.
Seeking her approval, it implies that he doesn't need her validation to feel good about himself. These are both indicators of high value. The nice guy, on the other hand, signals through his behavior that he's grateful just to be with her. He's so accommodating, so eager to please, so afraid of...
Just keep that shit to yourself. Just keep it to yourself. You don't need to tell her that.
...of losing her, that he communicates low value in every interaction. This is why women often stay with guys who treat them poorly. She has something to look up to, and this is why women leave men who treat them well. If you treat a woman well, rest assured she's going to leave you in due time. All women will leave men who treat them well. The more dates you try to take her on, the more vacations you suggest, the more calls and texts you give, the more she goes, he really likes me. How nice. You know what? I really don't like him. Women don't fall in love with men. They fall in love with how men make them feel about themselves. When you make her feel like she's the prize, like she's doing you a favour by being with you, she feels powerful but not attracted. But when you make her feel like she has to earn your affection, like she's lucky to have your attention, she feels challenged and excited. This emotional state is what creates the deep, obsessive attraction that leads to genuine love. Women are led by their emotions. If her emotions are signalling, text this man, you like him, that girl is going to text you. If her emotions are signaling, he's low value, I don't like him anymore.
Yeah, see, this reminds me, like, if you give her little crumbs, right? Like crumbs as in attention. If you give her attention, little bit here and there, she's going to want that as a reward all the time. So that's how she sees it. You know, you don't want to give her attention all the time. Imagine just feeding her with attention, this and that. She's going to get full. She's going to pass out. She's going to get the itis. She's going to not like you anymore. You get what I'm saying? So
She pulls back. The key is to make her feel like she's constantly reaching upward to deserve your attention, but never making her feel like she can't reach it. It's a delicate balance between challenge and hope. The most attractive quality a man can have is genuine abundance, the feeling that he has multiple options and doesn't need any one woman to feel complete. This isn't about actually having multiple women. It's about the mental state of not being needy or desperate.
Right there. It's the mental state. It's not about having 50 women in your roster. It's the mental state that you could have 50 if you wanted to, but you chose her, you know? So low key, she should be grateful. And yeah, to be fair, you know, for her, you should feel grateful back to her. Sure, if you want to keep it equal, but you know.
When you have abundance, you naturally do all the right things. You don't chase, you don't overinvest, you don't sacrifice your dignity for her attention. You treat her well because you want to, not because you're afraid of losing her. This mindset is incredibly attractive because it's so rare. Most men are operating from scarcity. They're so grateful to have female attention.
If you look at a lot of relationships now, you see more like this beta, simp, cuck situation. So when we're doing that, we're praising the women. So if the women are higher above us, relationships are going to go down. That's why they're all going to break up. Almost all those relationships, you know, they're all going to break up because the guys are saying yes, 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 yes. They're being so sweet and nice to them. They're letting the girls do whatever they want, dress however they want, go wherever they want. There's no leash. There's no nothing. It's just whatever rules you want. You know, relationships will fail like that if the girl has no boundaries whatsoever. The guy lets her have no boundaries. It's going to fail. I'm sorry. It's going to fail. It's just time. It's going to fail.
That they'll do anything to keep it. The man with abundance is selective about who gets his time and energy. You containing your interest makes you the bad boy, makes you the player without even trying to be.
All right, so see, that'll make you the player back in my day. That'll make you the bad boy. You know what I'm saying? Like when you give them the less attention, when you make them feel like you have so many options without directly telling them, that's what makes you the high value right there. That's what makes them so attracted to you.
You're not replying to 1 or 2 text messages makes you attractive. You don't have to be out doing crazy things. There are subtle tweaks in your behavior that position you as a high-value guy. Women are biologically attracted to men who can lead, make decisions, and take responsibility. When you constantly seek her approval or ask her to make decisions, you're failing to fulfill this basic masculine role. Masculine leadership doesn't mean being controlling or domineering. It means being decisive, confident, and willing to take charge when necessary. It means having a vision for your life and inviting her to join you, rather than centering your life around her preferences. For example, instead of asking, "What do you want to do tonight?" try, "We're going to try that new Italian place downtown." Instead of, "Is this okay with you?" try, "This is what we're doing." You're not being demanding, you're being decisive. When you take charge and make decisions confidently, you're giving her the gift of being able to relax and trust your judgment. This is what true masculine leadership looks like. In any relationship, whoever is investing more emotional energy has
This dude is killing it. I don't even have to talk.
less power. Investment can be measured in many ways. Who initiates contact more often, who makes more effort to see the other person, who compromises more, who shows more emotional vulnerability. The person who consistently invests more will eventually lose attraction from the other person. This is a fundamental law of human psychology that applies to all relationships. This doesn't mean you should never invest or show care. It means you should be strategic about when and how you invest.
All right, right there. You should be strategic about when and how you invest. That's it. That's all he's saying.
Let her invest in you first, then match her investment level. Don't be the one who's always reaching out, always making plans, always compromising. When the investment is balanced, both people feel valued and respected.
Let her do it first, and then match her energy, and then just keep waiting. If you're doing too much, you're doing too much. You're going to end the relationship.
When it's imbalanced, the lower investing person loses respect for the higher investing person. Frame control is perhaps the most important skill you can develop for maintaining attraction. Your frame is your perspective on reality, how you see yourself, the relationship, and the world around you. Women are constantly testing your frame to see if you'll abandon your perspective to please her. When you consistently maintain your frame, it signals that you're a strong, confident man who knows his own value. The man with strong frame control doesn't need to argue or defend his position. He simply maintains his perspective with quiet confidence, knowing that she's testing him to see if he's strong enough to lead. This isn't about being stubborn or inflexible. It's about having a clear sense of who you are and what you stand for, and not compromising that to gain her approval. The uncomfortable reality is that love and attraction operate on different principles. Love is about care, compatibility, and commitment. Attraction is about challenge, uncertainty, and the feeling of reaching upward. Most men focus only on love, being caring, supportive, and committed. But without attraction, love means nothing. She might care about you, but she won't desire you. She might stay with you out of obligation, but she won't be passionate about you. The men who create lasting, passionate relationships are the ones who understand how to maintain both love and attraction. They're caring and supportive, but they're also challenging and unpredictable. They're committed, but they're not needy. Remember, this isn't about being cruel or manipulative. It's about understanding the psychological mechanisms that drive female attraction and working with them instead of against them. The choice is yours. You can continue operating from the nice guy playbook and wonder why women keep losing interest, or you can embrace these uncomfortable truths and start creating the passionate, devoted relationships you deserve. Stop trying to win her over, and start being the kind of man she feels lucky to have won over. The difference will transform not just your dating life, but your...
Alright, so that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I did when I watched it. It's really informative. I didn't watch a lot of his stuff, but this one seemed like it really hit home. You know what I'm saying? These are some really good stuff. And one thing that reminds me of one of these things, I don't know if he mentioned it, I don't think so, but it's when a girl really likes you, it's like a attachment anxiety. So even in emotional rejection, she just craves your attention so much, even if you reject her in some type of way, like she's okay with it. Like she just wants your attention that bad, you know? So she'll cling on to you really bad, even though you won't commit at all. So, but anyway, if you like the video, give it a like, subscribe. You're gonna get more content like this. I'm doing everything. I'm going around everywhere. Check out the Beta Male Chronicles, that series. I got the 2 episodes on the Andra girl. Check out my Instagram. You could DM me. You can email me at talk2fdf@gmail. Check out the YouTube. I got the Instagram. Check out the TikTok. Whatever you guys want, all right? I'll see you guys next time. Later.